Hi everybody, this is Christelle Martinette and I'm scrying here and I'm putting it on both channels. Who's afraid of Mercury retrograde, seeing that we're getting there soon? Really, who is afraid of Mercury retrograde? What, are we going to stop talking about to each other? Is it feasible? Is it desirable, Now, what I'm seeing, rather than the difficulty in communicating, and this starts tomorrow, just like Mercury retrograde does, I see an opening. It seems to be an opening. It's an invitation, it seems, to enact an excess of communication, almost as if you're defying the the planetary movements, an invitation to bring out anything that you are holding in, and with a devil may care attitude. It's quite. I always find myself, because I listen to myself speak, and that's always quite interesting. I always say it's quite interesting, and everything to do with scrying is interesting. But it really is interesting to see how we're being brought to defy any planetary movement and say, okay, I want to tell you this, even though you may not understand me. I'm going to communicate this. Today, I want to tell you this. And of course, Mercury retrograde then moves into a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. But it seems that either we take on an attitude of, all right, I'm going to put myself under lock and key. I will hold my tongue because I'm afraid that what I can say, because what we'll be finding is that you're dying to get something off your chest. You're just dying to get something off your chest. You're ready to, blurb it out and make it go home like a whacking home run and just get it out to somebody and something. But and I'm seeing that it's an invitation to do so, regardless of anything that you may fear or that you may have heard. Or a lot of you watch so many different YouTube channels, of course, and there's always such a lot of confusion, and people come to me and they say, well, how is it that could it be, I heard my Scorpio reading here, here, and here, and there always seems to be a third party. Yes, and could you think it's true? I can't say that. I can't confirm, corroborate, or negate, because what I see is something different. We each have a perspective. If I turn my head, I see something different. If I sneeze, I see something different. And all I can do is guide for the here and now. And I want to mention an example, give you an example, because with this invitation to bring something out, it would be an excellent time for really getting something off your chest. Recently, more than, let's say a few, 4 exactly, clients have come to me for what they say is a cord cutting. And I know their stories and I know what it's all about. And I said, no, I'm not going to sit, I'm not going to cut cords, because all you have to do is say no. The situation is that the person doesn't have the courage to break off a relationship and put the person at a distance. And it seems that they want to give me the responsibility of doing that. And I understand the situation, and it's not as if the cord has been brought forth from many different lifetimes. It's a here and the now situation. They are in difficulty, and they want what they call a cord cutting. And in one of these cases, I did actually go and check, and there was no cord. So again, in my last video, I did mention sometimes it's best to come in for a consultation, and just with, not even 20 minutes, even just a 10-minute talk, we can clarify what's going on, and with a few questions back and forth, with giving each other information. But here I'm seeing a window of opportunity for any of you who really want to cut that cord, if you want to use those words, or, put a relationship at a distance from you, if that's what you desire. Now, there's also, of course, oops, sorry for that. This is crystal underneath, so it makes crystal on crystal just makes such a difficult noise. There are those of you who have been, it's a very particular time. I'm getting such odd requests, very odd requests. A lot of you have come to me on the one hand saying how you really do want to keep someone in your life, but in the end, there is not one positive thing that you can say to me about that person. And, you know, I really would like you to invite you to take a hard look before you bring out your ideas. You really need to see what's going on personally. And I can then act as a devil's advocate and sort of guide you and steer you into something that, you know, with my professional help, I can help you in some way see what you're looking for. But there's also here, for the beginning of this Mercury retrograde period, I see that there's a very, very strong desire to not only speak your mind, but break out from a bond. And on the one hand, I just called it cord cutting, but here, this is something different. There's a bond there. You want to break out of it. And they are slightly different. The bond and the cord, they're slightly different things. I don't want to get into it now. I could, you know, there's just too much time it would take. But there's also many different types of things, let's say, energies that keep people together or keep them apart. And every person is different, so it's not a matter of generalizing. I can't do that now in a short video. But what I'm seeing is that the beginning of this Mercury retrograde is also very conducive to breaking out on your own, literally walking the line, you know, walking on your own 2 feet and finding a balance, finding equilibrium alone. This is what I'm saying, and that is interesting. I've never seen that before in my scrying sessions. That's the first time that it's come up, and with that, there's a sort of for many of you. This is a general reading, and I can't say. You know, I'm getting a 22% for 22. For many of you, you're going to be seeking out a crowd. You're going to seek out a gathering, a group, association, a society, some kind of coordinated effort that you would like to both. On the one hand, you would like to be part of that, join it, and on the other, there is a very, very small 7%, 7% of you who are actually thinking of creating a new format, a new company, a new association, a group of people, a group of professionals being together, like-minded individuals. This seems to be the moment where you break away from something and want to join something or create a collective. And that's quite interesting for me. There's also here a lot of, you know, I see a lot of alone work, a lot of being alone because of the planning and nurturing the ideas and thinking outside even of the box. This is a period that is conducive to really start thinking outside of the box. Okay, this hasn't worked for me now. Let me try that. Online dating, I've had 1, 2, 3, 5 men in a row that just haven't worked out. Or I've had 2 women in a row that just didn't sit with me. Out of the box, out of that box. Do something else. Bird watching society. Anything completely different from what you were doing, where there are completely different people, not only like-minded, but something place where you can learn as well. I'm also seeing here the desire to sort of, you know, I get it as, it comes out as being wanting to move home. Now, far from everyone out there who's listening, wanting to change residence, I'm seeing this move your inner, how can I say, your metaphorical home. I'm at home in an academic environment. I'm at home in a library. I'm at home and at peace when I go dancing. You know, you're in a mind frame of wanting to shift that regular pattern that you have. And this is the beginning of the Mercury retrograde period as well. Church bells are toning nearby, and it's every 15 minutes, this church, and now it's really going here. And it's music. Okay, you know, the harmony that I'm getting here seems like a different kind of harmony as opposed to what your past was like. You go to the ballet and you enjoy the ballet. And in this period, you're more drawn to modern dance. Or I go to concerts, rock concerts, but in this period, you're more drawn to classical music. You know, there are so many different things. You're a person who does, you know, practices bird watching, but now you want to take up archery, for example. So there's different types of the desire to do something different, to pick up something different. And what I'm seeing is the reason behind it, the motivation behind it. As I said, you know, before I use that number 22, I'm seeing 22% of those who want to shift their metaphorical home are looking for something drastically different, and the other are looking to go back to something they were interested in long ago. It could be your childhood, it could be your teens, but something you were interested in at a younger age. I don't imagine there are many teens here unless you are 18 and over, so I'm saying teens. This is an adult site, so not that I'm stripping here or anything, but what I'm looking at is a crowd of people who is, and in the crowd, you're breaking away and looking, you know, walking through all the myriad of people that are walking towards you. You're walking through them to another place. It's as if you want to take a vacation, you want to take a trip somewhere where you've never been before and where you'll not see anyone you know at the same time. But there's the conflicting desire of going back to something you have, those 32%, going back to something you have done already. Inevitably, there may be people you know. And so there's sort of a disorientation in this period where you know yourself. We know, I'm including myself, we know ourselves, we know what we want, but for some reason, we want to be somewhere new, but at the same time, something that we're familiar with. And it's quite interesting, and there could be many different examples here. You know, see again an old lover because you're familiar with the pattern of interaction, but wanting and desiring and knowing that it will not be the same. It will never be the same because you are different. They are different. And that also in the emotional sphere as well is coming up. I'm drawn here. Let me take an amethyst here. Well, better than the amethyst. This ferrite stone, ferrous stone here. There's a bit of fear, there's a tinge of fear concerning the unknown. And that is one of the reasons why many of you will be moving or desiring to move towards something, an activity, a group that you have been, where you've been before, an activity that you've done before, a person you have interacted with before. But again, I'm reminded of that breaking away pattern at the beginning of this period, Mercury retrograde. There is a breaking, a desire to break away to to some degree, and I see that as being done alone. This is the decision is done alone, is taken alone, and also the actual breaking away is going to be done alone. Of course, this is a general reading, and when people write to me, I heard your session, and could that mean, I always invite those people to come in for a private reading. I can't, assess your situation in relation to a general reading. So what else I'm seeing is that there are a group of younger people, with respect to you, a younger crowd, that you in some way interact with, and I'm hearing foster homes. You're interacting with people at a very, very young age that seem to be disoriented, seem to be lost, and you do this so you can get your bearings. We do this so we get our bearings even more. But there is also a movement toward the elderly, people who are older than you, as if you will be able to learn from their state, from their status, from their age, so that you can in some way interact with them and even get a jump on what it will be like when you're going down that road yourself. And so, it seemingly, from what I can see, it seems that there's a movement where there's a lot of experimenting, putting your feet in the water, trying to see what temperature it is, see if you like it, you don't like it, and then turning to people in society, people you know, people you don't know, people you meet at a bar, a cafe, a cafeteria, and you interact with them and just, shoot the breeze. But there are stories that pass. There are stories that are exchanged. And all in all, I'm seeing this Mercury retrograde entrance here tomorrow, the 9th of April, as a period that is going to mark something that you'll remember as being courageous. It was a courageous move on my part, going forward, and breaking away. It's a courageous, I really did something that I wasn't used to, that I'm not used to. And for those of the bolder members of my listeners, you couldn't wait for this moment. It's as if now, finally, I can do it. Finally, I can get up and, say my piece of mind, talk and say what I want to say. And you won't feel any regret about what you say, what you express, and how you express it. This is the beauty of this moment. I do hope this was of help. Well, I have this, it's calling me. I called it in my last session the meteorite, because it comes from a meteorite. It's Moldavite, and it's just lovely. It is just lovely, and it is hope, strength, grounding, yearning, healing, being calm, being helpful, being courageous, and being adamant of what you want. And not, it's sort of telling me that the fear is dissipating. There is a certain amount of dissipation here, where I'm trying to see if you could see the green, the light green, but I don't see if you could see that light, the transparency, because maybe a little bit, but I can assure you on my end, it's quite bright green, and it's a stone that does give you courage. As a matter of fact, it does. You keep it in your pocket, and wish upon a flying star. What is a shooting star? Put a little thing in your pocket, and you wish upon a star with the Moldavite in your pocket, in your hand. The green, this is period for green stones. The anything that you can find green will really give you that, and I'm sure many of you are feeling the spring, this agitation, the tension, the desire to do so many things, and the literal passion that overcomes you, and the days just don't seem long enough, and you just have so much energy. And beware that April is a trap. Towards the end of April, April gives us tires days when you overdo it. Beware of gauging that energy, and beware of other people's energies. Again, I was called upon by many readers contacted me after there must have been a thread. I don't know what it was. I tried to watch the video, but I couldn't. It was just, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. But there was for some reason, a colleague just went off her rocker and called into question a lot of other readers, and I was one of them. And I don't understand. I don't understand. So when I don't understand something, I just leave it, you know. But everybody has their moments, and I hope that that was one of hers. Now, I'll leave it at that with this beautiful Moldavite just giving us calm, and hope you have a wonderful weekend. And namaste. Don't worry about who's afraid of Mercury retrograde, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have fun. Bye-bye. Till we read together again. Namaste.